So I created a real simple sketch on a 5x7 notepad just to get a plan together for my island. And I'll just pop this open really quickly. And so this is just a real simple sketch that I'll start to translate into a digital environment, but I just wanted to give you a really quick overview of some of the stuff that I'm going to plan for my island. So I took this photo with my camera phone. It has all the information in it that I need, at least to start thinking away from the computer. So what we're looking at here is that I have a little volcano island here, and that's going to be kind of the ultimate goal. This is going to be the destination. The starting point for my island is going to be here, and the only way to get to the volcano is to kind of go through the island, and there's going to be a couple of different ways to, I think, move around the island. But I have some trees over here. I have a sunken ship that's in a lagoon. There's a bridge. There's going to be some alternate routes, and one's going to be a little bit more dangerous than the other. But the idea is that I'll have a wayfinding system. There'll be a choice to be made at the intersections here. I have a little sea monster in my lagoon here, and this is going to be a danger point. Okay, and there'll be a little danger point over here. I'm going to have several different kind of areas of interest and points of danger. So, but again, this is going to be the start, roughly, over here. And the idea is that the user is going to be oriented in looking at the volcanoes. There's going to be a little bit of intrigue, and the volcano will be dormant at this time, and eventually it's going to start to go off. I haven't fully realized kind of the story and the narrative here, but I wanted to get some kind of typical kind of island themes going with some points of interest. So there's going to be a forest, there's going to be a lagoon with a sunken ship, and maybe rather than a pirate ship, I'll change that to a UFO or a rocket. Throw in some sci-fi themes here. There's going to be a bridge, and there's probably going to be some sort of key or requirement to get across the bridge, which will be a much shorter route than kind of going around the lagoon. But these are some of the basic game mechanics that I'm going to incorporate. There'll be sort of a point of interest on the other side. These are mountains here, and there's going to be a point of interest here to find some clues. Maybe it could be a sign or a narrative or some kind of treasure that's picked up. And then there's going to be kind of this standalone island, which will have maybe some treasure. I'll put a little treasure chest here. There's a lighthouse here, and so these are all just different kinds of points of interest. And the key is going to be how to get across from the lighthouse to the volcano. The volcano is going to be the goal here. So this is the basic concept that I've worked out. And what I'll do is I'll start to translate that into a digital environment, and this whole concept may evolve dramatically as I start to work back and forth between my map and Unity. But this is the basic idea that I'm going to go for. And there's a couple of different tools that I want to make you aware of. Certainly Photoshop and Illustrator. These are great tools to where you can build a really quick concept sketch here. But there's also Miro or Miro in DeviantArt. So you can Google DeviantArt Miro, M-U-R-O, and that will take you to a free web-based Photoshop-like tool. And so there's a layers panel here. All the different tools are down here, and it's very intuitive, very straightforward. I'll just grab the brush tool and show you how to get started with a sketch. And so my idea is that I want this island that's kind of a C shape here. I have another little island here, and on this island is going to be a volcano, and that volcano is eventually going to kind of spew out. It's going to erupt and eventually maybe spew out some lava or some things. But the idea is I'm not going to over-sketch this. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time at this point kind of roughing out the idea, because I might come back and dramatically change the whole concept. But I want to kind of get some of the key features in. I'm going to have a little monster in here, a little one-eyed sort of giant kraken or octopus type thing. It's going to have its tentacles up in the air. And some of these things I might determine really becomes outside of the scope of this project. But I want to capture some of these ideas and go back in and edit. So I'm going to jump back and forth and refer to my sketch and just really kind of rough this out in the digital environment. Maybe push it a little bit further and start to annotate and kind of describe some of the things that I'm looking at. I just wanted to make you aware of the DeviantArt tool because it's kind of a fun tool to experiment with and play around with. We take a closer look at this for a concept tool in the 3D design class. But I'm going to use Photoshop really to start to push this forward. And I'm not going to thoroughly demonstrate the concept art phase. You have examples. Even if you were to come up with something like just a simple pencil sketch, scan it and then annotate it in InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, that's gonna work for the sake of this class. As long as you have a plan that you can go back to. The nice thing about working digitally is if I decided that I didn't want the sea monster here, once I commit that to pencil, it's a little bit harder to kind of clear that out with a clear plan. I'm eventually going to name my island, my original name. I'm going to end up changing that quite a bit. But at least I now have a plan to start to work towards. So in the next presentation, what I'll do is I'll jump into Unity and I'll start to use some of the landscape tools, some of the terrain tools in Unity to start to describe the basic elements. Unity is very good about creating landscapes and textures and lighting and kind of large-scale environments. There's some really great tools. The thing that we're going to have trouble with inside Unity is creating structures like this lighthouse and organic type stuff like a little sea monster here. But as far as water and terrain and trees and mountains and volcanoes and all that stuff, we can really quickly and easily get at that sort of thing, landscape features inside Unity. So let's jump into Unity. We'll see what the capabilities are with the landscape and the terrain tools, and that might inform you and give you some more possibilities for you to translate back into your 2D concept art. So what I'll do is I'll model the rough island and things like the wrecked ship, the bridge that's here, and the monster. All those sorts of things are going to be stuff that has to be done inside Cinema 4D or a similar tool. So we'll jump into Unity, see what's possible, and we'll play back and forth between the 2D and the 3D map. We'll catch up in the next presentation.